Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Bahrami Mojito. This is Watches at Joe's, and I'm Joe. Thank you for dropping by the channel. Today's watch is on loan from my friend David. We're in several WhatsApp groups together, and because of that, we know that Bahrami is doing a Kickstarter that is launching in November. The brand is based out of Vancouver, British Columbia. They've done a few small drops to date of small order quantity. And this Kickstarter is going to be their first big watch. With that said, let's take a look at the specifications for the Bahrami Mojito. The price I have here is $5.99. That's what I'm doing for my comparison in my head. That's what the Kickstarter is going to launch at for the 39mm watch. With a lower order quantity, you're going to get higher prices on a piece like this. I don't know the exact price that my friend paid. I didn't ask him that. And so that's another reason why I'm going to be using $5.99 for my value model. That being said, for this Mojito watch, we're going to get a diameter of 37.4 millimeters. That's the bezel. It overhangs just a little bit. The case I measured at 37 millimeters. We're going to get a lug width of 18 millimeters with a screw bars. We'll touch on those when we take a look at the case later. Our lug to lug I measured at 45.4 millimeters. The thickness, including the crystal, came in at 10 millimeters. The crown comes in at 5.6 millimeters, and it is a screw down crown. Our case back is going to be exhibition, and we'll take a look at that. Our water resistance, we're going to get 5 atmospheres on this watch. The lume is going to be a C1 Swiss Super Luminova. The weight comes out at 56 grams with a strap that is not the strap the watch came with. My friend David has a 6-inch wrist, and so he will get his own custom straps that are 2 length for him. And so he wears a 105mm by 65mm strap commonly when he gets custom straps. This strap is from the MV Handmade store on Etsy. My time with it on my wrist, the strap is really nice. It feels and looks really well constructed. They are currently having their own sale on their Etsy shop, so I recommend going over and checking that out and seeing if there are any of the straps that you like. With that said, let's dig more into the Mojito. I'm going to zoom in the camera for us. Sorry for the shakiness. All right, now that that's settled, let's start with the dial first on this one. And so this dial is going to have a light green to dark green fume gradient that is going to go from top to bottom, and it really evokes the feeling of the Mojito drink to me. And so I think that aspect of the design is very nice. Indices, we're going to have single indices all the way around for all 12 markers. They are raised indices that are polished with a nice feel of C1 Swiss Super Luminova inside of them. On the dial, we're going to have Bahrami printed in white in the top half of the dial. And in the bottom half of the dial, we are going to have Made in Germany printed just above the minute track. We have a full 60-minute track that goes around that makes it easy to tell what time it is when you take a look at the watch. And then let's just pick up this dial and play with it a bit in the light and just really see what this gradient does with the vertical brushing. I just think the light play on this is just really nice to look at. Gives the dial a lot of character and a lot of depth. And I think he's done a really good job with that. And then our handset here, he's calling a leaf handset. I think they're pretty. I think it's different from what I see on other watches, and dial and handset are really nice. So from there, we're going to take a look beyond the sapphire glass, and we're going to see this brush bezel that gives us a very nice proportion with the dial aperture. From there, the brushing is going to continue on these downturned lugs. As we go onto the side profile that has brushing, we're going to see the lugs are brushed, and then we're going to see the drilled through lugs that enable it to have screw bars. The screw bars are going to make it very secure on the watch, the strap that is. However, that means if your strap has quick release, you're going to have to take out your quick release bars. If you have your spring bars, you'll take those out. You'll have a very secure strap, but it's also just going to mean it takes longer to do any sort of strap changes. On a watch like this, I prefer Drilled lugs are fine, but I just want to be able to have those drilled lugs be smaller and integrated with a normal spring bar so I can use quick release bars so I can change up my straps more often. Going from that, we're going to take a look at this exhibition caseback where we're going to have a rotor that's engraved with 104. What we're looking at here is the SW201B that has been regulated to plus minus 4 seconds a day. And so that's a nice aperture into that. It's a very standard movement that I'm sure we could say is a workhorse movement in the Swiss industry. From there, we're going to take a look at the engraving around the caseback. We're going to get Bahrami, Germany, 5 atmospheres, and Mojito on there. And so overall, that's a really nice package to look at the back of the watch. At the side, our crown is going to be just a sterile crown. It's got some nice knurling on it. It makes the operation of the crown really easy. You pop it out and you're in the 0 position, which allows you to hand wind the movement. I'm not going to do that more here because it's already running, but when I was doing it earlier, it felt well integrated in that movement didn't feel clunky to move. And from there, we can pull out to the first position, which is going to let us change the time. And with that time change, we are going to see that this movement feels really nice with the crown, and it doesn't feel like I'm just able to jump willy-nilly, but I have to control the crown as I move time forward. So let's go ahead and pop off the lights here. Pop this light off. I'm going to pop this light off. And then we are going to see that this watch that has not been outside and has not had much sun doesn't have much lume. We're going to shine this torch on it. And we are going to see the lume on this watch. Let's take away the torch. We can see how brightly it glows. I think this is a really good application of the lume onto the watch. I think it's really easy to read at night, and if we were to charge this up for more, it would be even more powerful. Turning the lights back on. And let's do one last thing and get this Formex off my wrist. Get the Bahrami on my wrist. I have some zoom in here for a second. Go. All right, so this is on my 7-inch wrist. We can see that I go to the last hole on this 105/65 millimeter leather strap. This strap is really comfortable. I'm just going to say it again. Looking around the Bahrami, the execution on wrist feels really nice. On my 7-inch wrist, this feels well proportioned. I'm going to zoom us out to 2x here. Sorry for shaky cam. And yeah, I think this wears really comfortably. I think the 39 upscaled will also end up wearing pretty comfortably. The light play looks nice on the dial, as we said earlier. And at $5.99, I think this is a great value for a watch. The case from Germany is well made. It's the polishing good. The polishing is good and the brushing is good. The integration of the stem with the crown feels really good with the SW201B movement that's regulated to plus minus 4 seconds a day. And then the watch is really secure on the screw bars. Sorry, losing my ability to speak at the end of this video. But at the same time, that's one of those things that I don't like. I prefer to be able to use quick release bars to just change out the straps as I want. But every watch is, I don't think there is such thing as a perfect watch. Otherwise, I would be done collecting watches already. Looking at everything that's inside of this watch, I think it's going to be a great value at $5.99 for the first 72 hours. There'll be price increases after that. But for the Mojito 37, I think he's built a fantastic watch. I feel like I'm talking a little bit in tangents now, so sorry about that. But As I said, this is Banter, and this is just sort of my style of thinking and talking, and I want to try and do one takes more than multiple edits. So with all of that being said, thank you very much for stopping by the channel. I'm just going to reiterate my final assessment. I think at $5.99, the Bahrami is a very good deal to jump in on. You're going to get a well-regulated Swiss movement. You are going to get a finely made German watch with a really good design. The other colorways that I've seen the previews of that I'm not going to show on my channel, I think look really exciting. And so as the Kickstarter launches next week, take a look and yeah, let me know what you think down below. Thanks very much again for stopping by, and this has been Joe from Watches at Joe's. Have a good day. Looking forward to comments.